like a window, no window, look at the videos, say yourself that could have been you.
Because they're like, Sanya On-Air. And everybody on the East Coast calls me Don. I'm like, what is Don?
My mom thought I was on Long Island, but I was at Howard Homecoming.
Ready?
Turn it up.
Let's go. Welcome, everyone. You are now tuned into another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. I'm your host, SanyaHudson Payne. And how do I start off each and every single show? You guessed it. I have another great show for you. Coming up in just a few short moments, I have the talented actor, R. Marcus Taylor. Now, let me tell you, because you may not know his government name, but I know that you know him playing Suge Knight not one time, but two times in the Lifetime film, Surviving Compton, and then also the film that just resonated all through theaters and just had you lining up at the box office, Straight Outta Compton. Like I said, he played Suge Knight not one time, but two times. Now, he's just not playing Suge Knight every time a role about Suge Knight appears. He's been in quite a few roles as an actor. He started off as a stuntman, but if you know his story, you do know that his rise to fame has had some bumps in the road. There has been some mental health issues, and because we're dedicating this show to depression and mental health, why not have R. Marcus Taylor on this show to just unpack and share his story, talk about the foundation that he started, because like I said, health is wealth. So just make sure that you stay tuned in, and also make sure you subscribe. Sanya On-Air streams across every streaming platform. I don't have to name them all, but let me just name a few. iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora Music, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Alexa, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, you name it. Thanksgiving is coming up and I'm hungry. But anyway, make sure you subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, not only subscribe, but hit the notification button. That means every time I upload an all new Sanya On-Air celebrity interview, you'll be the first ones to know. You know what? Lately, have you noticed, and make sure you follow me on Instagram too. Lately, have you noticed on Instagram that everyone is asking you to subscribe to receive special content? I'm thinking about that, but it just seems like now everyone's doing it. So it just kind of takes away the glitz and glam of it all. You know, when people just have too much access to things, it no longer makes it just kind of lessens the value of things, you know. So I don't want to be doing what everyone else is doing. But if you want me to create special content that only you have access to, you know what, just leave me a comment, or you can slide up in my DMs on Instagram, but keep it cute. Like I always say, keep it cute. So what we're going to do right now, before R. Marcus Taylor joins us, we're going to just take a few minutes for a commercial break, and I'll be right back with Sanya On-Air. Celebrate spooky season with Instacart. Get all of your Halloween wigs, yes, I said wigs, wands, and candy in as fast as 1 hour with free delivery on your first Instacart order. Offer expires on October 31st, 2022, using the special Sanya On-Air Instacart link. Now let's get to shopping. Already know that during the commercial break, you subscribe, right? And if you're watching this on YouTube, not only did you subscribe, but you hit the notification button, right? You're right. Okay, now you're getting it. I see you. I see you following directions. So, as promised, in just a few short moments, just bear with me. Actor R. Marcus Taylor is going to be joining us. But you know, I am a media junkie. I love all things TV, film, music, fashion, and beauty. So, you know, your girl has been watching something new, something that I need you to be watching too. So let's get into an entertainment review. This is Sanya On-Air. So while the commercials were playing, I know that you followed directions and you subscribed, right? And if you're watching this on YouTube, not only did you subscribe, but you hit the notification button, right? See, I see you. You're learning. You're catching on quick. So let me tell you about this new show. Oh my gosh. I knew nothing about it. I'm just, like one day bored. I'm like, what's new? I logged into my Hulu account and I said, Reasonable Doubt. That's named after one of my favorite albums from Mr. Jay-Z, Mr. Sean Carter. I said, let me check this out. I'm hooked. I wish this was like on Netflix. Netflix will give you every episode will give you 20 episodes on day one, and then you just binge watch everything. Not Hulu, child. They said you're going to be tuned in every single week. So Reasonable Doubt. Now I'm going to be reading from a piece of paper because I want to read exactly how the show producers, creators describe this show. So they say that Reasonable Doubt is about a high-powered lawyer named Jax who defends a man charged with murder. And when the verdict is rendered, is not necessarily the end of the trial, as the appeals process can take a significant amount of time to go through the system. In this show, 2 investigators re-examine controversial murder cases in an attempt to help the families of the people convicted find out if they should appeal or accept the verdict once and for all. That sounds real educated, right? Let me tell you what it's really about, child. Let me tell you what this series is really about. Yes, it's about a high-powered lawyer named Jax, but what they don't tell you in the synopsis is that Jax is a high-powered lawyer who is married, and she is defending a man who is being charged with murder, and she falls in love with the prisoner. I said, wait a minute, for all the women, what is going on? What is going on? Just the abuse of power of it all. So she falls in love with the man that she is defending. Now, mind you, he tells her, the lawyer, that he's innocent. That's what they all say. That's what they all say. But I don't know. I don't know if I could fall in love with someone who is on trial for murder, even though he is saying that he is innocent. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much for my mental well-being. It's too much for my pH balance. It's too much, but the show is really, really good. Let me tell you how sick in the head and toxic Jax, the high-powered lawyer, is. So her husband is the one who asked for a divorce, a separation. He asked for a separation. She didn't want the separation at all. So she is being Petty LaBelle in episode 1, 2, 3. I think 4 episodes are right now, but every single episode, she is Petty LaBelle. Petty to the point where the husband hires private security for her and the children, right? Wait for it. So the security guard, he starts flirting with Jax, and she's just all hot and bothered, child, because if she's falling in love with a convict, she's hot and bothered. So anyway, so she's getting all sexual with the security guard to the point where her husband buys a security camera for the house. She has sex just riding the security man in front of the security camera, knowing her husband is watching. Toxic scandal, but I love it all. The get back of it all, the revenge. She said, "You are not walking out on me and these 2 kids." She is driving him crazy. So I'm really just trying to figure out, like, did he really do it? Did he really do it? So he spent like a few years in prison, maybe 20 years in prison, right? For a man who didn't do it, right? But we know that does happen. We do know that there are thousands of Black men currently incarcerated, falsely accused, who didn't do it. But I'm just saying it's just too much for me. I just can't handle that. I just need the verdict to be not good. I don't even need you to go to court. How about that? How about that? So anyway, just back to the toxicity of it all. But like I said, what I love about it is that it's really showing due process about how, a person can be convicted, the appeals process, Black men saying that they aren't guilty. But it took a spin on it. What I love that they added is that he's falling in love with his lawyer. So, child, he gets released from prison after about 20 years, and he goes to find Jackson. And now all those feelings that she had for him, they're resurfacing. And she's just like, she don't know what to do. Should she stay with her husband? Should she stay with the love that just got released from prison? It's too much. It's too much. But that show is giving me everything that I need. It's also showing how she's navigating her friendships as well. So just, a high-powered lawyer. She's a woman navigating friendships, a relationship with her husband, and her convict boyfriend who was charged for murder, but he says he's innocent. So watch Reasonable Doubt on Hulu because it is everything. Wait, let me tell you about some of the cast. Wait a minute. I have it somewhere. Okay, wait. So I couldn't pronounce her name, so I had to write down the phonetic pronunciation of her name, and she pronounces her name Imayatsi Corinaldi. I'll say it again. Imayatsi Corinaldi. That's the high-powered lawyer who plays Jax. She's amazing. Then we have Michael Ealy, who's a convicted felon who's saying that he didn't kill anyone, allegedly. Then we have McKinley Freeman. That's the husband who's watching his wife have sex with Michael Ealy on the security cam. Oh, no, I told you wrong. She ain't had sex with him yet, but having sex with the security guard. I'm confused because there's a lot happening. But one person I love seeing, and I haven't seen her in too many roles. What's her name again? Let me get it right. Pauletta Washington, Denzel Washington's wife. She's playing Jax's mother. And as a mother, she's giving us everything that we need. Just judgmental. She's also in a toxic relationship. A man did her dirty years ago. He's trying to make a comeback. And she's like, should I? Women exploring relationships are very, very difficult. Very difficult. And what I'm loving is the layers, the texture of it all. But what I really want to see is just a woman who just don't give a damn about a relationship at all. That's not her focus. It just seems as if every time a story is chronicling or depicting relationship journey of a woman of color, it's like she got to be tied down with a man and a side piece. It's just too much. But I love it because I just love drama. And it is drama-filled, toxic. So make sure you stay tuned into Reasonable Doubt, which is on Netflix. Okay? So what we're going to do now is let's take another commercial break, and we'll be right back with Sanya On-Air. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe.
Can you hear me? Hi. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Good.
Good. Thank you for coming on my show again. You remember you were on my show before, right?
Honestly, I really don't remember, but I'm glad.
I'm like, how could you forget a queen like me?
No, I know, right? Like I said, as you know, like I've been through some stuff lately, back then. So
I know.
Yeah.
But first, I want to ask, because I'm a firm believer, names tell you a lot about an individual. What does this R stand for? Like, why did you not use your entire first name, but opted to use R?
Awesome. That's a great question. People ask me that. R means, Richard. And I there's so many just, Marcus Taylors around So
Oh,
I wanted to be like a part, but mostly I wanted to honor my father because his first name was Richard. I'm a junior, so
okay.
the R is for to honor him.
I understand. The same thing with me. People
Yeah,
often assume that I'm married because I have a hyphenated name. And I'm
yeah.
like, no, like my parents were married for so long, but I want to honor both sides.
Oh
So
yeah,
is my mother's maiden name and Payne
yeah.
is her married name. So I just hyphenated it.
Oh yeah. One of my closest friends, he does the exact same thing.
Good.
So
Good.
and he's scary. He was like, yo, I just
I
do
am too.
that. I receive. No, that's all right. I respect that. Black women are the strongest people on the planet.
Especially when you're from Brooklyn. So that's
Hell,
another layer of gangster.
oh please! I used to hang out at Fort Greene. Like my kung fu teacher lived in Fort Greene, like the project area.
Oh,
So
see, wait a minute. This is
yeah,
why I like you because I grew up in Fort Greene and Farragut.
look at that.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was going there for years. We would train and then sometimes play basketball out there. They try to kill me out there. I
I
remember
was about
that.
to say, how dare you, do something like that in Fort Greene? That was not the place for it back then.
No, it's okay. People like, it's funny, like, at first when people, never seen something before and they what this ain't Bruce Leroy. What is this? But once you know, you see if it works. And my teacher, he's like, well, if you think you can do something, why don't you show me?
Guy.
And he wouldn't let me do it because I was a professional fighter. So
Mm-hmm.
he out back then I would have just like knocked him out or just like beat on him.
Oh,
But my teacher, he just defends himself. He can put you out,
yeah.
but he prefers as self-defense.
Yeah, I find that a lot that people think that if you study martial arts that you just want to walk around beating people up, but it's
Yeah.
because you want to defend yourself in case.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people ask me like, why did you do all that? I said at first I wanted to be like Superman and I couldn't fly.
Uh-huh.
So I said the next best thing was martial arts. But as I've been doing this since 1981.
Wow.
And yeah, and I was a very scared kid growing up. I was bullied, crazy bullied. And are we live?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
No, we're not live.
oh,
This is being recorded, so don't worry.
oh, okay. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so I was I started in 1981 and I wanted a Asian teacher because I watched a lot of kung fu films and the wise old man is the master.
Right.
And I said I want to learn from Asian people. My
Mhm.
father said, "No, you're going to learn from us. We got black kings in martial arts. You're going
Mm,
to learn from us, from the brothers."
I
So
love
that's
it.
where he took me. Yeah, that's where he took me.
I
And
love it.
yeah,
Just
and
re-navigating the conversation to let
yeah,
you know that Black people are also in those roles too. So we have to tap into that. I like.
yes,
I like. But what I did hear because you kind of went over it. You said that you were bullied, but
yeah,
you were bullied because of what your parents did, right? Your father was
yeah,
the mayor of what?
yeah. My father was the mayor of our city, Plainfield, New Jersey.
Wow.
And my mother was a school administrator. She was the vice principal of Plainfield High, principal of one of the elementary schools, and she became vice principal for some of the toughest schools in New Jersey,
Mm.
Central Jersey. I mean, East Side High, Kennedy High School, all in Patterson, New Jersey. So she's tough. My mother's tough.
So do they
So
bully you because of your parents or because of you?
I guess it was, I think, because of my parents and also because, well, now people don't like to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about. Because of the lighter shade of my skin, I wasn't considered black enough, strong enough, masculine enough, and
Oh wow.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and so it was like I got flack from everybody, the white folks and the black folks,
Yeah.
and my identity was like, who do I identify with?
Mm.
But I had good, I had a good parents to tell me, no, you black. You're black. Don't ever say you're not any. You are black. Be proud. Be black and proud. So
True.
I listened to that, and I come from like my parents were like visionary, not I wouldn't say radicals, but activists. They were in the movement. And I was experienced. I had good experiences, talking to and meeting a lot of famous, black people, legends, and I guess being around them a little bit kind of, I guess, made me feel less. I felt more. I guess I don't know. Down.
Okay.
I don't know. Down, and I felt happy. Like I'm glad. I was like, be happy to be black. I mean, I know a lot of people. It's a different day, but no, I love being black.
I hear that. I know.
I really love being black. I love it.
My blackness.
Yes. I mean, that's how I mean, I try to like everybody. I try to love everybody, but I love being black. It's something about being black and not just surviving, but conquering the injustices and the things that we have our forefathers, our ancestors had to deal with for thousands of years, or at least the last 400 years. And we I don't know, we take it for granted, but no. I know where my power comes from. I don't need, like when I used to be a fighter, it's funny, most of my opponents that I fought were all tight now. And some of them would tell me, they were like, I used to take steroids. I said, I kind of figured that. When you see a 7 foot, 7'1", 300-pound, massive, Russian guy trying to kick your head off or knee you, and it's like, he's a little extra strong, but I was like, but see, this is my, like, not for me. I said, I don't need steroids. I got 400 years of repression. Woo! Like literally in my soul. I have that. My power comes from my people, from what we deal with, the struggle and the conquering that we've done. And that's what make me win.
I hear that. But looking at you, and I don't want to talk too much about the acting, but people know you most, from playing Suge Knight. But just talk about the transition, because you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I lost.
Talk about that a little bit.
I lost a little over 140 pounds.
Wow. Without surgery or with surgery?
No. Without surgery. It's like when I was always a big person, like a big guy. Like when I was younger, I was like the short, like obese kid. Then when I turned like 17, 18, I grew and started working out, and I got in really good shape. And so between 18 and I think 25, I was in really good shape, and I was really, great physique. And then something happened, I guess. I just started eating a lot, and I've always had an issue with eating. Up until I say a year ago, I really wouldn't eat vegetables at all, like any. Seriously, wow. I always try to find ways to get over, like fat free this, those fads. Yeah, Diet Coke. Yes. And it works in your 20s, of course, but when you turn, you get older, and you need to be, it's like you can't run from it. You got to either submit to a healthy lifestyle, or be, or suffer, or be in pain, or be sick. And I decided in 2021, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to just be in better shape. I wanted to be healthy, though. I wanted to be healthy. Like, I don't think I've never felt this good ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never felt this healthy ever. Not even in my 20s, and I guess in my 30s, when I was supposed to be in my peak, as a competitor, as a fighter. and yeah, it's great. I
But you
don't tell people my age, but you know, I'm blessed. People say like you look like you're 29 or 28, and I was like, bless your heart, bless
right.
your heart, bless your heart. You know, it's and um, when I tell people my age, it's like, whoa, that's incredible. I was like, well, black don't crack, even if it's yellow.
I always say I got the good black, the shape of the
That's,
black.
yeah. There you go. That's yes, definitely.
Okay,
Yes.
but I don't want you to kind of rush through because something you just said was so profound, and I want to capture these, teachable moments for anyone tuning in.
Yes.
It's never too late. So you said you're the happiest with your weight that you've ever been. So for those who have been struggling with their weight, like as a woman, I think about my weight every single day.
Yeah.
It's not too late. It's not too late to get back on track and get to where you want to be. So just keep on persisting because you are a testament, as you just said, that you struggled all those years with your weight, and now that you have it under some sort of control, you're the happiest that you've ever been. So I just wanted to capture that moment real quick.
Oh, and I want to say I was a top personal trainer for years. I even had my own gym, and I taught martial arts classes and kickboxing and boxing classes and personal training. So like I know how hard, like, women, it's harder to get to lose body fat.
Yeah.
And as when you get up, you get a little older, you build like cortisol, high levels of cortisol that comes from stress and certain things, and and it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's why it's like women are stronger, because you guys got to do what you have to do, go the extra mile, just to in a way be normal or something. Especially black women, because you guys are blessed. You guys are blessed with God's physical attributes, God given, and we are so thankful for that.
As you were talking, I was laughing because I was like, that's going to be my new excuse when I gain a few pounds. That's my cortisol.
It's true. It's true though.
I never knew. That's my cortisol. Now I know.
Exactly. Yeah, but on a serious note, like you should like women, black women should go see a doctor or a nutritionist and ask questions about cortisol, especially with sisters, because it's like y'all deal with so much stuff. One day maybe you'll have me back and we can talk about. I feel that black men should atone to the black women.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly about that.
I feel strongly about that too. As a matter of fact, I'm making someone atone right now, and he has a whole lot of atoning to do.
Well, do what you got to do. Nothing trifling, settling, none of that.
No, but even just to piggyback on that comment, I even had to have like a meaningful conversation with my father just about. Do you understand the trauma you as my father and as a man have unwillingly placed on me as a black woman? Have that conversation, that adult conversation. It was difficult, but I don't think that people, especially men, understand the trauma that they place on women. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
No, and it was funny. Most don't, because they're afraid to be vulnerable to a woman, and for so many different reasons. One reason is, I think maybe some of them, the men, the women are dating, may be immature. That's one. And secondly, the guys could definitely be hurt before, and they said I always say only a woman can hurt a real man. Like, only a woman can hurt. Like, nobody else can hurt a man, but a woman, especially the one that you love or you're involved with, because you tell her the most.
That's true.
Yeah, so
that's true.
I think this is the thing. Well, since we're talking about it,
Yeah.
relationships, right?
Hmm.
I've been married 18 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, you're
So,
still married now? You said 18
oh,
years?
yeah, 18 years, and she still likes me. So that's good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a
Bless
good thing. I love it. Yeah, yeah. So, and it's. I was on like I wanted, and this is when I decided I wanted to be married. I always did, but
Mhm.
there was a time in my life where I was a two-bit whore, and
Right.
not and I hate, in a way, it was like hating women.
Mm.
Using them was just because I hated them, and it's actually shameful. It's not really. It's something to brag about. It it's not cool to brag about, school, like, having sex for sport. It's not. That's not what we're here for.
But we find that a lot of men do that.
Oh yes.
I remember growing up, and I used to always hear, men who dated around or had a lot of sex, they would say because vagina doesn't have a face.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But I'm
I
glad
mean,
you acknowledge that, though, because a lot of people don't admit,
yes.
where they once were, and
Yes.
acknowledge the growth that they made. So
Yeah.
that was huge of you, because that was a vulnerable moment. Because I
Yeah.
could,
Oh yeah.
but I know that, like, the person that I'm currently making a tone,
Mm.
when we were together, very immature, because we were in
Mm.
our early 20s. Like, we were supposed to be immature. And
Right.
now that we are adults and we can think about what we've done in the past and how we've grown, now we are both atoning
I hear you.
and saying,
No, that's good.
okay, let's try this again, because there's a love there, a genuine love.
Yeah. If I always say true love can conquer all if the two cooperate. Submission, some folks think submission is a bad and dirty word. It only means cooperation. That's all it means.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we and honestly, if we cooperate with each other, we can rule the world,
Right.
or have our own kingdom.
Right.
And me, I'm a Christian, so biblically, and just on a man's standpoint, I feel it's a man's duty to do two things: to provide and protect.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Provide and protect his woman, his family, his community, his kingdom. And that's what kings do.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself a king if you can't really if you can't attempt to provide and protect your kingdom.
That's true. But as a Black man, do you find that your brothers are living up to the expectations to be a queen's king?
Well, I remember I have a lot of female associates, female friends. Some are actresses, and I talked to some of them. And I remember a couple of years back, I talked to one in particular, and she's like, I can't really find a good man. And I said, well, that's your issue right there. You're looking for him.
Right.
I was like, a queen, in my judgment, a queen is pursued by the king, or in the case, the hunter.
Yeah.
And if you allow yourself, if you're doing your own thing, I always say, do you. To the ladies, do you be successful in your life, learn how to live your best life as a single person, and then a man will see that and it's like, wow, she's beautiful, and just because she's happy, she's joyful, she's free, she knows what she wants. I think that's very attractive to a man. A man is just like, I have really good friends that are males that are if they're single, but they believe in, like, how I believe in. You open the door, you pay. Listen, the man pays. Period.
Yes.
What's the problem, Dutch? Nah, get out of here, yo.
I don't believe in that. I was just telling some high school teenagers, girls, and she said she was dating a guy, and he told her that he had to pay for her own movie ticket. I said, oh no.
Nah,
No.
negative, negative. Like
Yeah.
a man, listen, like the man pays. Listen, and a good woman acknowledges a good man.
Right.
They
Right.
acknowledge them, like, oh, this man, like this man is really, he's got it going on, and he's fun to talk to, and he communicates with me. He asks me questions, and if
Mhm.
and even if you got a temper, I'm serious. Like some men see that, but like, look, everything is cool. You might not feeling well. Hit me up if when you need me. I'll be
Mhm.
there. Let
Right.
him let the sister know that I'm not going nowhere.
Right. Right. But
It's
I don't want people to confuse it when I made that comment that women are just, kind of being gold diggers and expecting men to pay for everything. That's not what I'm saying. But a man, when he's courting you, allow him to court you the right way.
that's the thing. They don't do that anymore.
They don't.
There's no such thing as courting. I'm like, man, when I met my wife, I had to meet. I mean, I'll remember this the first date to this day. I said, all right, let's go out. We'll go out and okay, just come pick me up. So when I ring the bell, the father was there.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the hardest handshake, and then he pulled me in, like literally, like manhandled me in the door. And in the living room, I see all the sisters, the brother's wife, the grandmother, and the mom,
Wow.
and some of the the kids there too.
Right.
So
You
I
met
was
a
like, and they were in my grill, like asking me a bunch of questions. But see, I'm good. I can deal with that. I have people, like moms always love me.
Nice.
So and my mother-in-law, she loves me to death, and I love her. And the father was, he was, because my wife's the baby of the family. And but you know, I just thought it was really cool because it's like, okay, like her family's really good people,
Yep.
you
You
know.
don't see that too often at all.
Yeah, and I mean, my cousins, my female cousins, I would go over their house or something, and the dude would beep the horn.
Oh no.
What that even mean, yo?
Oh
Like
no.
seriously?
Yeah. Oh no. No.
And I understand when men who don't see men or like real men around them, and I hear that you had a hard life. I understand, but after living
Right.
and experiencing life and living life,
Something.
you should learn
Yeah.
something.
Right.
I
Mhm.
just I don't try to give excuses to the brothers, just like, and don't whine about it. Like,
Right.
I mean, don't whine. Like trying to complain, like, oh, the system, like, no, check yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yeah,
you
because it
be
is
like
very
I'll be like,
unfair.
yo, peace standing up, man. Like
Yeah.
that's what your woman wants, peace standing up. Don't be sitting on, that's just me.
No,
That's
I
just
get
me.
it.
Like
We're
but
cut from the same cloth. When I was younger, if ever I brought home a guy, like my father would pull out his gun
see,
and have a conversation.
word.
And even now, like I have a daughter who's 27, and she knows if you're walking down the street and if a man is, hey you, hey yo, you
Nah.
don't acknowledge.
Yeah. You don't. Nah, when like I always say this, men will approach you. If you're going into the circus, all you see are clowns. You don't need clowns. You need a man.
Yeah.
And it's just that's how I feel. And some brothers are undercovers. They play a good game for the first few months or whatever, and then when the sister like, oh, I'm feeling you, then he starts to act, it's starting to show his true color,
Mm-hmm.
and to those guys, I think, like, how do I feel now about men? I'll be like, you know what? I tell my female friends, I'm like, yo, I don't have too much hope for y'all. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry to say, it's just because I see, the people, and I even work with some of the people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you know, that yeah, they have money, but they're not very manly
Right.
when it comes to respect a woman, how to talk to a woman, and you know, you can't be just all cursing, saying all whatever you want, and think that's cute. That's come on, man. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I can't relate sometimes to the the millennial or whatever people out
Me,
there. But I'm
me.
trying. I am trying.
I'm trying to. This is why I stay connected to a whole bunch of youth because I
Yeah,
need a better understanding. You
yeah.
know what? Matter of fact, today I was talking to a girl. She is 16 years old, and we
Right,
started talking about community
right.
and the definition of community. And
Yes.
she said, community is when a group of people come together because they share similar trauma. And I said,
Uh,
oh, I never thought about that. What do you
yeah.
think about that statement that she made?
It's actual.
Mm,
Yes. That's that's kind of sad, actually.
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
very sad, and
It is.
it's just like I feel that we as a people are the only people that are, I don't know, are afraid to be vulnerable to other people. And I understand why in a sense, because I just felt like it's generational curses from slavery. I really truly think that. And it comes down from generation to generation. I mean, depression is serious in the Black community, and we don't talk about it.
Nope.
And it all comes from it's like slavery. I mean,
Yeah.
that will drive you insane. That
Hmm.
whatever all those conditions, it will drive you mad,
Yeah.
or you kill yourself, or who knows. And but our people are strong.
Hmm.
We survived it, and we're conquering. We conquered that. Stuff is still going on. It's but I think now is the time for us to come together and talk and
Yes.
communicate like we're doing now. And if
Yes.
you don't agree, you can agree to disagree. Just talk like other, there's other people and their people, they're sticking together.
Right. They sure
You
are.
know? I mean, they stick together.
They sure do. It's us. We are sometimes our worst enemy, which brings me to I want your opinion on this whole Kanye West, him being in the news and in his statement. And for me, I'm like, I know he said a lot of things that I may not agree with, but there are some things that I think that as a community we need to discuss.
Right. Yeah.
I think that sometimes as a people, we always want to focus on the negative and the trauma and not really focus on positive talking points. What
Yes.
do you think about Kanye West and the statements that he's been making? And do you really think that it's attributed to mental illness?
Yes, I do. I personally think he still hasn't gotten over the death of his mother, and even the way it happened. She died on an operating table, to get a cosmic surgery,
Right.
um, and you have to deal with that in front of millions of people. And I, I'm gonna tell you, when he started just going off rants for these, all these years, my first opinion was this is a house nigga with millions and billions of dollars, which is dangerous. He'll get us killed. That's how I felt. But then I looked more into, I was looking at him and some things. I'm like, yo, mental health is serious.
It's serious.
He needs to get, he needs to acknowledge that he does deal with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Because the worst thing is like a person won't listen to you, because he'll think like, I don't have a problem. No, you have a problem.
Yeah.
It's documented. Now, this is something we all know as Black people. We know how the world works. Now, we know how it's like it's America is I love America, but how can I say it the right way? No. At first, um black men and women, we have to literally act every day just to survive, literally and figuratively, physically to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you go to a bank and and somebody's like, yo, that guy, he looks suspicious. Or you go to a different neighborhood, then they call the cops, and then those cops who probably got beat up by black dudes growing up, they got a gun now, so they feel like it. The thing is, bad, like, how can I say, racist people or people that are not aware of what's happening and what's been happening to us, they feel that they need to control us. Like black men are like uncontrollable, angry people that need to be tamed, or put down. If it's like dehumanizing. Dehumanizing. And for women, it's like you either the angry, bitter, yelling black woman, or you're a sex object.
Right.
Like black women are the most disrespected, group of people on the planet.
Yeah.
In America, shit, yeah. So I mean, it's like we know these things, but when certain people rise to influence, they want to keep those checks coming. So they're not going to say what's really happening because they are deep down scared out of their minds. They are so scared that they'll lose everything. Now, with Kanye, he figured, I'm a billionaire. I had kids with, the number one, wherever she is in the
world.
Vulture.
The number one culture vulture.
Yeah. So it's like, man, I had her. I'm a billionaire. People listen to me. But once you start talking about the Jewish community, who pretty much run everything, and you talk about that, listen, like then you'll realize, like, oh yeah, I'm black. Like I'm. Why did I say that? I know after he said what he said, he was like, oh man, I know he felt that, but he ain't gonna admit it, which it's too late now.
Right. I'm not even sure if he felt that because he's always seemed to be leading with his ego.
Yeah, he's very egotistical, very emotional person.
But now that he's losing a lot of endorsements, I just saw today Balenciaga just,
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So maybe once his money starts to get affected, maybe he'll get it because things have been taken away from him before, but not these large endorsement deals. So his ego is always, leading his conversations. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see things change. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But this month is depression and mental health awareness. But I was a little bit confused because I was talking to my daughter last night, and I'm a little bit frustrated that this month has been kind of muddled with other causes. Although the other causes are equally as important, but mental health just needs a lane of its own. And we're celebrating depression and mental health, domestic violence, breast cancer awareness. And I'm just like,
all in October.
It's just too much. Like, how can we really address the issues of mental health? We're really not addressing it.
Yeah.
Why is mental health so important to you?
Oh, wow. Based on the things I've experienced my entire life. Well, at the age of 9, I actually had clinical depression, severe bipolar, severe anxiety, and I had a really bad case of ADHD. But back then, it was, 1980, it was 84, 85. And it's like, black people don't deal with that. That's what white folk deal with.
Right.
All you need to do is pray.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's not working for me right now. And I had to do certain things to cope. And martial arts was a big thing. meditation was a good thing. I learned that, and I definitely started to pray. And I think when I turned 20, everything changed for me. It was like whatever fear I had was gone, and I was focused. But I still realized that I'm not feeling good still. Why am I feeling bad? Why am I feeling hopeless and I feel with despair? I just achieved something great, but I feel terrible because it's a chemical imbalance.
Right.
People don't realize this is this is a disease. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain that needs to be checked. And yes, for a time you should take medication. And it's like, listen, white folks been doing that for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And we just found it's like, and I understand for Black people because we internalize, because for survival, we internalize our pain. It's like, I need to go to the hospital. No, I'm good. I got to go to work. And yeah, I feel blue, but I mean, listen, that's for weak people. I got to keep. I'm like, I feel you, but now at this particular time, it's time for people to acknowledge what they deal with and to learn how to ask for help from the right people, get the right information, talk about it, because nobody's talking about it. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
Like you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. So true.
And not supporting something that you're dealing with or supporting someone else you're dealing with is not helping.
Right.
Like Candace Owens, yo, come on, man. Yo, I shouldn't even said her name, yo. Like, I mean, wow.
I don't understand what's going on in this world. It's just a weird place to be in. Yeah. And if you don't really strengthen your mental fortitude, I mean, everyone's just going to be walking around depressed.
Yes.
It's exactly. A lot. Like I go to therapy. I don't care what time I get home at night. For me, what I have to do to unpack the trauma of the day, I go for a walk every single day.
It's good. Yeah.
And sometimes it's just silent. We just need to unpack. Just get rid of all of this residue so that we can face tomorrow. And sometimes we just walk and cry. And I tell her, if you need to cry right now, it's okay. But I'm going to walk right beside you so that you understand that it's okay. We do this every night.
Yeah. For me, well, what was good about I think when I turned 23, I was talking more with my pastor about these things, and I was vulnerable to him, and he said, well, you should see a doctor. And I was like, I don't know about that. Why? What are you scared of? And I was just like, you're right. What am I scared of? So I went to a doctor, and he diagnosed me, and all the things I was dealing with, I was diagnosed with. And he said, how did you deal with all that, all these years?
All these years.
And it's like, I had to. It's like I felt I had to, and it was some of the worst things that I've experienced. I mean, I would have. This is not even the worst one. It's like I would have panic attacks before going to class. And it was weird. It was weird. It was crazy. And but you know what? Okay, bottom line for that though is, after I realized I needed to get help and I was starting to get help, I was saying to myself, you know what? This makes you stronger than the average person. The fact that you have to deal with all this stuff and you deal with it despite of how you feel, you still do it. You still go for your goals to achieve what you need to achieve.
Yeah.
It's like, I just think people right now, if you're listening and watching, I understand how it feels to be a certain age and you're still having a panic attack and you don't want to go to work. and you might lose your job because you were so depressed and so scared or had so much anxiety, you literally couldn't move. I know that feeling, but you need to acknowledge what you're dealing with and talk to someone that can help you.
Right.
And sometimes it can be a short process or a long one. If you have friends or family members, someone you feel comfortable with, you can talk to them. Or there are hotlines, and you have more access, I think, to getting help with these things.
Yeah.
And and we as a people, as a culture that's been murdered and mutilated, tortured,
affected, everything.
Yeah, raped, pillaged, treated like less than an animal. And these days, they treat animals a lot better than they treat black folks.
They sure do.
When you see a 280-pound, 6'4" Caucasian cop beating up a 5'1", 100-pound black girl, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just feel like if we all stand together, and it's not just black people, because listen, white folks got black wives and black children. They should speak up more.
Right.
I don't ever see any Caucasian man that's married to a black woman that have multiracial children publicly say anything. I wish I could see that more. That's one thing, you know.
True. So true.
And it's like, what are you afraid? It's like sometimes you just have to fight.
You do.
And there's power in numbers.
Yes.
If we all just stick together, and I mean, once a person that was once your enemy can be an ally. Right. Talk.
Yeah.
And forget about trying to run game on somebody, try to out talk a dude. No, like this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I want. How can we do this together? How can we make this? Because other cultures are doing that.
They sure are.
Other countries coming in, they have a chain of stores or a chain of restaurants or a chain of cars or a chain of ships. Why can't we do that?
Right. You know, as you were talking, I mean, it really resonated and hit home just about, you know, standing in your truth and speaking up.
Yeah.
And just challenging injustices. So what a lot of people don't know is I'm battling, you know, current trauma, you know, navigating through depression. So it's been a little bit over a year. My mother was murdered in a hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. So sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm now in the biggest battle of suing, you know, one of the world's largest major institutions. And, you know, sitting in front of doctors who didn't look like me. And they said, oh, while they murdered my mom, they would say things like, oh, you're angry. And I remember at first I would say, I'm not angry. But then I said, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am that angry Black woman that you are speaking about. I am her.
Yeah.
You know, but it takes a lot of strength and fortitude to face each day. And this is why I go on the walk. Because as I'm battling every single day, I have to unpack it somewhere. So I'm glad that you mentioned, you know, giving people some strategies and some tools on how to navigate through trauma and depression, you know, showing up for yourself, speaking up.
Yes.
Creating a village of people who can support you and hold you up. Because
not even a village, a kingdom. We gotta think bigger. Like it starts with a village. Let me correct myself. It starts with a village. we can be a kingdom.
You're right.
You know, I mean, I just think if on one hand, if more men think of themselves as strong men that have that mindset of trying to provide and protect the women and children, the women will see, you know what? At least they're trying. I saw something on social media where a girl was attacked from by an owner of a store. She was assaulted by this Asian gentleman, and apparently an hour later, about 30 black men dressed in black came in.
I saw that.
And I mean, it was taped, and basically the dude, and for me, back like 6-7 years ago, I wouldn't even said nothing. But I'd be in jail. I'd be in jail. But these brothers, it was a united front. Like, you couldn't get past those dudes.
Right. That's how it should be.
That's what it used to be. and it was real hard in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And I mean, they didn't consider us human at all. There was no work. I mean, come on. There was one or two black actors, no directors. I mean, we had to integrate for baseball and all these other, sports, and that's just sports and entertainment. Come on, lawyers. You know how hard it is to be a black lawyer dealing with all that foul, foolish, and a reporter or a journalist dealing with all. Because I've seen some of these people, and I'm like, wow, these people are really entitled. They feel they are entitled to do or say what they want, but couldn't last literally a week being black. That's why I love being black, because it makes me. I feel strong because I feel we are. Yeah. Now, I don't want to start no problems. I got white friends that I'll take a bullet for and would for me. But they understand. They try to put themselves in my shoes, but they can't. They can't. But at least they're attempting to see, like, you know what? Let me think of things differently. Yeah, man. I mean, cops never bother me, and I be starting a lot of stuff. Like, I know, because you're not considered a threat.
Right.
Why are you why are we such a threat? It's simple. They're scared.
Yeah.
It's like you can see the fear. Come on, like you got a badge and a gun, and you got about 6 other guys with badges and guns behind you. What are you afraid of?
Right.
One little guy.
Right.
It's because it's like the fear is real, and it's been going on.
It is. And the great thing about it, and this is what I show my daughter, I'm unafraid. I will put myself on the front line at any given moment for people who look like me.
Yeah.
Every single time. I don't care, because I know that I come from a lineage of people who did the same thing for me. So how dare I not show up and show out for my people?
Yeah.
That's the type of Black woman that I am. But, as an actor in Hollywood, has Hollywood afforded you the grace and mercy to be a successful actor living with mental illness?
It's a very good question. Because up until, I guess, 3 months ago, I never told anybody, because I'm private. I don't want people to know my business. But when I dealt with everything and how things just started changing for the better, I was like, I need to tell people my story, because people can see, like, okay, this guy was dealing with it, and if he can do it, I can do it. And she can, if she can do it, then this other sister can do it.
Right.
I mean, people get motivated by what they see.
Yeah.
And and I want to help, like, because I've had help. I've had some good, stable good things going on. So I feel it's a duty, and I want to do it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. I like to communicate and learn and talk to and meet people and tell them, like, you know, you're feeling this way. I did too. And sometimes I still do, but I know I have ways now to get over it, to fight it, and to champion it. And it's never too late. I don't care if you're 80, 90 years old. If you're dealing with depression, you should see somebody.
Yes.
You're still alive.
Yes.
You know?
So when you decided to tell the world that you are living with mental illness, what type of feedback did you receive?
Well, at first, I guess, it was negative, I guess, because, you know, everybody, you know, thought I was really like Suge. I've never met the dude. I studied him to become, I put on 60 something pounds to be him. Gained some more weight to play him again. You know, and once you do a good job in Hollywood, it seems like the fans and producers and casting directors want you to be that person your entire career. And that was the thing I was dealing with, that issue. And the situations I was dealing with was, you know, I dealt with them, and, you know, I suffered because of them. But when I decided that I'm going to change, and I told my story on Vlad TV, you know, at first it was like, oh, this guy, he really shook. He ain't never gonna work it again. But then there were some people who was like, you know, I'm going through the same thing. I'm talking about A-list actors confiding in me. And I was like, wow, the fact that you felt you can talk to me about it. I mean, because they needed to. They needed to, you know, because you know, certain, you know, actors, you know, you can't just tell everybody.
Right.
But I said, I'm just glad I was there to listen. Just listen. I was there to listen to them. And and it's funny. And I started doing things on social media. I would you know, talk about my health and my training, and I mean, I got like 30 something thousand or almost 40,000 followers, you know, and job offers now, and all these other like deals for brands. And I'm just like, wow, this is a blessing.
Yeah.
But the blessing is helping other people. That's my true blessing. And yes, did I have a little, you know, Hollywood? It's like, you can't please everybody, but I got the right I got enough acknowledgement and respect, just because I was bold enough to say, this is what I've been dealing with, and this is how I responded. And I mean, you know, some things were bad, and I apologize for that, and I'm moving forward momentum, you know. So that's what I concentrate on now. I don't concentrate what other people that are saying that's bad about me. It's okay. Right. I remember before I really didn't like that at all. And I'm, like I said, I'm a fighter. I never start stuff, but it's like, I was that dude. Like, listen, I'm not your average dude. Like, I fight for fun, and I got paid. It was a living. But now I was like, you know what? Everything okay? Are you all right? I mean, listen, if you want to talk, it's fine. I'll walk away if I'm making you upset. And, you know, and sometimes that, I mean, there was a time where this one guy got in my face, and I was like, I'm stepping back, bro. And honestly, I'm not your enemy. Now, before I would have dropped the dude, but I felt compelled to talk to him.
Right.
I gave him my number, and he hit me back.
Wow.
Then he started crying, saying like, yo, man, I'm sorry. Yo, I'm dealing with my daughter. And stuff is going on. And
it wasn't even about you.
Yeah, exactly. People are going through so many things, and sometimes you got to remove yourself from the equation.
Yep.
Because most of the things that people, the confrontations people deal with has nothing to do with them.
So true.
Yeah. So, things are different now, and I'm getting a good attention, which is awesome. And actually, after this, I have to go to a meet and greet at this film festival, and that's great. And it got me more passionate about acting. And I've learned so much more in these years. I'm such a better actor than I played Suge Knight. I mean, 100 times better. And you're going to see that. It's going to show.
You know, you were talking about superpowers. We always think of superpowers as being, you can fly, you can jump to the future, but you named so many superpowers.
Yes.
That people don't even realize are superpowers.
Yes.
Speaking your truth, realizing that it's not even about you and walking away.
Yeah.
Not caring what other people say.
Yeah.
Those are superpowers. So when it comes to media outlets, I know that media now, they like to sensationalize a lot of things.
Just about, yeah.
That the journey of your career, have they sensationalized a lot of your mistakes as opposed to acknowledging your success?
I would say in 2017, definitely. But I was still working, so I said all press is good press. That was my mentality. And like I said, 2017 kind of changed things for me, and that's when I really decided I wanted to get help, with dealing with my mental status, and I did. It was a long road, but I went through it, and I'm so much better for it. So I think the bad thing needed to happen so I can experience the joy I have right now.
Right.
Like,
so looking back
at
what happened in 2017, do you believe that those behaviors were a manifestation of the mental illness?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's funny. And the thing is, I really do have incredible patience and calmness, especially during confrontations or altercations. Because I was, like I said, I was a fighter. I was also a bodyguard, a bouncer. So I'm used to being calm. But I would say at that time, prior to those events, I wasn't getting my medication, and I tried to get it, and I was always on location somewhere. And for some reason, I couldn't get refills, so I'm going like literally over a week without taking my medication. And when you don't take it, you go through withdrawal. And anybody knows about withdrawal is one of the worst feelings you can have. Everything is painful. Everything hurts. You can either shake. These crazy sweats. It's like you're tired, but you're not. You're wiry, but you're not. Everything hurts, even your teeth. It's in a way, it's an undescribable feeling. And this is what I was feeling, like even felt like my skin was burning.
Oh wow!
So exactly, yes. And that being said, now for I guess one of the incidents, I still was very, very showed much restraint. But when a big black man yells, it scares everybody.
Right.
You can't even. It's like it's a terrorist act if you just speak up for yourself. But if you're 6'3", 280-pound guy, you're the biggest dude in the room and the most intimidating looking person in the room. People automatically, label you.
Right.
So, but like I said, there's some things that I regret some things that were out of my control, and there's some things I could have done better, and I acknowledge that. But like I said, now I just feel it's just different. I feel positive, and sometimes I'm still, because I've always been hard on myself. I'm like the hardest person,
Me too.
like on myself, so it's like nobody can make me feel worse than me. And then I started to think, well, this is what my therapist said when I told him this. He says, you should go look in the mirror, look at yourself, and say, you look great. You have conquered so much in this period of time. You're not the same person you were. And say, I love you, because you're hot. Like, and I said, you want me to say that to the mirror? He said, yes, I do.
Yeah.
When you say it to yourself, it gives, it exists. It gives existence to it. And I was like, yo, I am. I was feeling like, I mean, I'm not trying. I was like, I wasn't trying to be like, I'm boasting, but I'm boasting in the mirror by myself, saying, you've earned what you have. You deserve the success you have because you worked hard to attain it, and to keep it. And you should be congratulated, and say, just like I said, congratulate yourself. Like, you did great. You did great today, and do it day by day.
Yes.
That's all you need. Maybe even hour by hour.
So this morning, I do the same thing. I talk to myself in the mirror as I'm preparing for the day. And this morning's affirmation was, I am worthy. And I just kept doing that. And I kept repeating it until I felt it in my soul. And I felt my soul just open up. And I was so vulnerable. And tears just started to fall, because I was like, I am worthy.
Yes, tears of joy. Yeah. Tears of joy. Like, when I listen to a certain gospel song, and I'm just like I wasn't a crier, when I in my adult years, my early adult, like I didn't cry, but I'm so blessed that I'm able to cry and feel joy, and not be ashamed of feeling so good. Like I tell people, like, bro, like, live a good way to live your best life is to acknowledge what you've achieved. Don't beat yourself up, and there's more to come. Yes.
But I love the fact that you're doing the work not only on yourself, but you're also just owning the responsibility of helping others. I believe you just founded an organization for mental health. Talk about that. Give us the name and tell us what it's about.
It's called
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Yes, 2017. And it's basically 2017, when I had those situations and things that I was dealing with, and then when I was dealing with them, I made it a decision then to change, that I wanted to change for the better. I wanted my emotional state to be strong, and I wanted to mentally healthy. And it was a long process, but I went through it, and I said I feel so much better, and I want people to experience what I experienced. I really do, because I think for a lot of people, especially right now, I mean, jobs are running scarce, gas is going up, and so many things. Yes, and people are charged. Like, first, you used to get like, what was it, like 10 burgers for $4, and now it's like 30. So I understand. But you have to acknowledge what you've had and what you've created for yourself and for other people. And like, you're doing good, and you're going to get better. God's going to bless you with more things. if
Yeah.
you stay consistent. It's all about consistency with weight loss, with healthy living, with being successful. Consistency always wins.
Yeah, it does. You know, as
And
I was preparing for this conversation, I could not, for the life of me, I was like, what does he mean by 2017? I was like,
yeah,
what's the meaning behind it?
yeah,
You just eloquently explained it and it made sense. You turned something that, you know, could have been, well, it was traumatic and a
yes,
mistake, and you turned it into something positive,
yes.
another teachable moment. So with 2017, will it be something that people can join in order to help them navigate through mental illness?
Well, I want to start, meeting and talking to other people about it, and perhaps talk to kids about it, and talk to, I don't know, I've been thinking with my publicist, we're like, maybe we should go to the prisons and talk to them about it. I mean, what's the most depressed place you can go? And that's the prison.
Yeah.
And one thing in prison, like if like they expose fakeness. They expose that, and when they see, I'm like, nah, this is real, bro.
Right.
And because you're going through it too.
Yeah.
Harder than I am.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to talk to high school children, please let me know.
Okay.
I can definitely get you in the door. I work very closely with the schools here in New York City. And
Nice.
I know that that's definitely needed. Just talking to the youth and the kids, like I said, I tap into them every single day. And they're dealing with a lot of issues. I have a high school teenager that I mentor, and she also interns for me, and she is 16 years old and held her brother's hand as he died, and he was 9 years old. And it breaks my heart when I talk to these kids, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're dealing with so much. The schools aren't carving out a place for them to deal with this trauma. And the only thing they're telling these kids are, you better show up to class on time, you better pass that test. But they just have to finish crying because they're dealing with some trauma. So there's definitely a place for you. And if I could help you carve out that lane in schools, I'm here.
And you know what else I want to do? I want to talk to the parents. I think that's something that people sometimes don't think about. I think, parents, you get your, I believe you should get your identity from your parents, and how you should be, learn about life, what to do and not to do from your parents, your mother and your father, both of them. Either if you're with, even if you're with the woman, or you're separated or divorced, you guys should have, you're a team. You're a team until this person becomes an adult.
Right.
Yeah, you have to, because it's not about you, it's about them. I want to talk to them about it. So yeah, that's another thing. So yeah, I both said it, like Lee, my publicist, she's down.
Oh, I know. She's amazing. She's amazing. So I'll definitely circle back to her, and we'll get this conversation started so that we can begin the work. Because that's what I count on. Like the conversations, I'm like, okay, I like to get to the work.
Yeah, talk is cheap. I like, I'm the same way. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm tired of talking. Like, you gonna do it or what? Like, I hear you.
Right. So, this has been a very meaningful conversation. Like,
yes, it has
so many takeaways. Like, I feel the energy in my body just saying, okay, it's time for you to go on that walk so that you can unpack this conversation.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna, share this. My daughter, she's listening, because it's important.
Yes, it is.
I really thank you for being, authentic, for being unapologetic. For using your life and your journey as a testimony for other people who are experiencing the same thing, for being unafraid to stand in your truth. My hat goes off to you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
How can my audience continue to follow you? What's your social media?
Oh, okay. Instagram is I am R. Marcus Taylor. All one word. I am R. Marcus Taylor. So it's RMARCUSTAYLOR at gmail.com. That's one. And then, TikTok as well. I just started on TikTok.
Me too. I'm
Yeah,
gonna follow you on TikTok.
I never thought I would be
Me either.
ever in a
It's the
billion
kids.
years.
They have me on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok now, and so yeah, R Marcus Taylor / TikTok.
Got
So
it. Got it.
so those two places, I'm there.
Well, we'll
Talk to
definitely
me.
follow you. I'm gonna as soon as I end this, I'm gonna follow you on TikTok. But just real quick, your Instagram, check into it, because this morning I went to go look through your Instagram, and for about, I would say, 5 to 8 minutes, for some reason your whole page was down.
Wow. Thank
And
you for telling me.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, let me just keep periodically checking, and then it came back up again. But this morning it was down.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely gonna look into that.
Please do.
Thank you very much.
I was about to call your publicist, like, is something wrong? His page is gone. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So check into it.
Oh, I'm definitely.
Okay. But thank you so much. I know that you have an event to do now. Continue blessings to you and your wife.
Same to you.
And I thank you so much.
All right. God bless.
Likewise. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
OMG. OMG. Let me just say something that I always say, like when I'm at a loss for words. Aw. Amazing conversation about mental health and depression. I mean, who doesn't have something going on in their personal lives where they're just like, I'm just trying to make it through today? So I did share a personal story with R. Marcus Taylor, just about my mom. And during that phase, and even up until now, people always ask you the generic question of, how are you? And I stand in my truth and I say, I'm bent, but not broken. I'm bent, but not broken. You can use that because it lets people know I'm not okay right now. So many people are wearing masks, they're faking it, but we see the trauma, the depression, the mental illness manifest itself in the behaviors. So the advice and the lessons that R. Marcus Taylor gave us, make sure that you get a support system. And I said a village, and I'm glad that he expanded my thinking. And he said, no, we need a kingdom. We need a kingdom. So make sure that you are first creating your village so that you can expand it into a kingdom. Make sure that you seek help, have someone to talk to, someone who is licensed to give you the meaningful advice in the direction that you need. Once again, I was talking to the youth today, and we were just talking about homeless people in the street. And I told them, I said, the majority of homeless people in the street, they're dealing with mental illness. A lot of individuals who are currently incarcerated dealing with mental illness that goes unaddressed and unchecked. As a matter of fact, I told you I work with a lot of youth, and I have a very good relationship with a teenager. And I was just like, something is, I don't want to say off, but something is concerning here. And I went to someone in his school's administration. I said, I think that this student needs to be tested, because I do believe that there is some ADHD going on. Not talking about medication, even though, I do believe that medication helps, but I don't want medication to be the go-to for everything, especially when sometimes you can do some sort of behavior modification techniques. So I'm saying all of this because I do have a degree in psychology, and I have been working in the mental health field for a number of years. So make sure that you get the help that you need. You cannot do it by yourself. So in my conversation with R. Marcus Taylor, we were talking about his new organization. He just launched it, so this was an exclusive. 2017, and we talked about some incidents that happened in 2017, some negative incidents that happened in 2017. I didn't want to talk about it because give people an opportunity to grow. And what happened in 2017, as he said, was a manifestation of him being off of his medication. And I love that he took what happened in 2017 and he branded it into something positive. So make sure that you continue to follow our Marcus Taylor. He is amazing. Like I said, you know him as Suge Knight in Surviving Compton and Straight Out of Compton. And he played the role so well that he started to take on some of the characteristics on top of the mental illness. But he's in a much better place now. So we're going to close out this edition of Sanya On-Air. I know that we discussed a lot. I hope that you took some notes. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, also hit the notification button. Leave me your comments. Share this, like this. Oh, and something else that I forgot to mention. I'm in a contest, Fab Over 40, just acknowledging women who are fabulous over 40. And damn it, I'm fabulous over 40. So make sure that you vote for this melanated dope queen, because as a woman of a particular age in media, there really isn't a space for a woman like me in media. And I had to create my own space, my own lane, as you can tell, my own show. And we just want to make sure that women who look like me, we have a place. How many of you who are of a certain age have been slightly insulted by someone younger saying, "You old"? That is not an insult. I wear my seasoned melanated dopeness like a badge of honor.
Are you ready? Let's go.
A badge of honor. So I'm going to have the link so that you can vote in the description section of this episode. But thank you so much for watching. This has been another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. Smooches, dolls. Take care.